Hi everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where my June TBR is being chosen by Dat Attack. We're back. We're going into June. June is the best month of the year for so many reasons. It's Pride Month in the UK and I think maybe worldwide. We're repping. It's my birthday month. It's summer. And hopefully the English weather realises it's summer. That would be fantastic. And it's just generally a fantastic month. It is also an exceedingly busy month, with it being Pride Month and being part of the queer community. I have a lot going on in June. I have many things. I've got birthday celebrations. I've got Pride, which I'm marching in London Pride this year, which is really cool. I've got all sorts going on. So am I gonna read that much? Who knows? Am I excited? Absolutely. So for anyone that is new here, Dat Attack is my monthly TBR game, supposedly. It doesn't happen every month, but it happens sometimes, where I throw darts at this lovely magnetic board, which sometimes the magnets don't stick to, and it chooses me a prompt, and then I will suggest some books in this video that I may read for that prompt, but then within the month I will do my best to fulfill those prompts. I think this month I'm going to say that the first kind of 6 throws are like the official 6 prompts. And if we get doubles, if we get extras, then I will add them as bonus prompts, but I'm going to put less focus on them because I do expect to be very busy and I think 6 will be enough to keep me occupied. If you want to know more about Dat Attack, I'll link the playlist and all the original videos from many, many years ago below. It's evolved over the years. It's now a tiny magnetic board, but we're here and we're excited. With it being Pride Month, I am obviously going to be reading queer books. I read queer books all year round. I can't remember the stats, but I think well over 50% of what I read is queer. Sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less, just if I'm reading certain genres, you see a bit less of it sometimes. But I centre queer books in my reading all of the time. I prefer books that are queer in general. I enjoy them. But in June, I am going to be making an effort to only read queer books. And I'm not saying that's a definite, because if I get in a slump and a certain book just catches my eye, I'm going to go with it, whatever it is. But there's a lot of queer books I want to read, so I don't think it's going to be overly challenging to only read queer books for one whole month. Does it mean I have to pause reading fantasy series? Maybe. Am I sad about that? No, not really. I'm quite relieved to have a break. So I think we're basically just going to get straight into it. There is not much preamble. I have a whole stack of queer books in front of me. There's some I would really like to get on, but we're going to see how it goes. The only 2 I could really do with trying to get onto this TBR or fitting in somewhere if I can would be Bellies by Nicola Dinnan, because not how you say it, because this is one of my 12 books to read in 2024 and I'm just about on track with that list, but not really. So I do need to try and tick one off, and this is the only queer one on that list that is left. I've read all the other queer ones, so I need to get to that. And then also Idlewild by James Frankie Thomas. This is, I'm so excited. I think it's like kind of dark academia vibes. I don't really remember, but it sounds amazing. Christy recommended this to me and we will be buddy reading this in our little besties book club this month. So I need to get to that one as well. And I'm actually doing pretty well. We're 5 months into the year and there's only 1 book that I've not read for that little book club. So these 2 we're gonna try and fit in somewhere, but we're gonna replace the prompt on I think somewhere at the top that is missing, and we're gonna start throwing. We don't need much preamble for these kind of games anymore. Everyone knows what a TBR game is at this point. They're quite straightforward, but let's see what prompt is going up on the board. This one. Okay, prompts are on the board. Cameras are set up. I am standing much closer this month in an attempt for these darts to stick to the board. Whether that will happen, we don't know. We are also going to ignore this because it's precarious and a little bit stressful, but hopefully less precarious than last time. So, the first dart is ready. Let's see how this goes. Purple and almost a bullseye, but we're gonna take purple. Purple is anticipated. Okay, I know I said I had 2 books I needed to get on, and I am anticipating reading both of those, but for me, anticipated feels more like an anticipated release, and I have the perfect book, so I have to include it, and that is Experienced by Kate Young. This isn't even out yet. Comes out next week, but I went to an event yesterday and met Kate, who is just absolutely lovely, got the book signed. And this is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. This follows Bet, who is 29-30 when she comes out as gay, as lesbian, and meets a woman, gets into a relationship, is like, this is it, this is me set, this is my life. And this woman goes, okay, you've just come out, why don't you go explore for a bit? And then we can be together. And so Bet has 3 months to basically go have fun, do what she needs to do to come back and be ready to be in a relationship. And Listening to Kate speak yesterday with Anna James was just amazing. I'm so excited for this book. It's very queer, it shows a different side of the queer experience coming out much later in life, and I say much later in life, 30 is not exactly late, but compared to a lot of the stories you see about people coming out when they're 13, 14, 15, 16-ish, it is a bit different. So I'm super excited for this. It's one of my most anticipated releases of the year, so it works perfectly. So that's the first book. Okay, replacing that prompt, we are going with, ooh, dearie me. Okay, we've just lost a few. Trying that again, we'll go with this one. Okay, throw number 2. Let's see how it goes. You know what? It lands on a colour. We're gonna go with it. Light green. Light green is new prompts. Okay, new prompts. A fun but relatively simple one. I'm gonna take all the prompts that are currently on the board off and replace them. It makes no difference to me because I don't know what was on there, though I am going to look now they're coming off. And we're gonna get a whole new set of prompts. Okay, the prompts that were on there for anyone that was curious. Cozy Reading Night, which the blue tag just ripped. Page number. New release. 5-star prediction. 2 times, so pick 2 books for the next prompt. A book that was on a previous TBR. A favourite author. A hyped book. And a book that is out of my comfort zone. So I'll leave those out of circulation for the rest of today, but they will come back in next time I do this. But let's pick 10 new prompts, I guess. I don't get to see these, but you will. So we're gonna have this one. And I'm gonna start at dark green and go around. So the last one I pick is light green because that's the color we just got. Then we'll have this one. Next up is this one. Then we'll do a bit of a shuffle, mix them up a little bit. We will go for this one. Then we are going to go with this one. Okay, that's halfway. Need 5 more. Let's go for this. This. Bigger shuffle, we're gonna go with this one. This one. And last one is going to be this one. The new prompts are all on. We're now going to do basically throw 2 again to get a second book because things like that obviously don't count because they don't choose me a book. So let's see what it is. Pink. Pink is releasing this month. Okay, so the only way I can fulfill this prompt is to change what I've already said. So I said I'd read Experience for Anticipated. This releases in June, and it is the only book I own that releases in June. The only arc I had for June I've already read, and isn't queer, so wouldn't want to read that anyway. So this is like the only option. So this is now switching to this prompt, and for Anticipated I will read either Idlewild, because I was anticipating this release. I only just got it, but we're gonna claim it. Or A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft, which I am very excited for. This is sapphic witches? Sapphic romance, basically. Fantasy romance. I haven't actually ever read Alison Saft, but in my head she's one of my favourite authors because of the kind of books she writes. I also need to read Far Wilder Magic by her, so this might end up on the TBR. Because who doesn't want a folk roast with a quick temper on a little quest that has to begrudgingly work with someone else and then ends up getting together, I think. So who wouldn't want to read this? I'm very excited. It's also not too long, which is always nice. So the arc of this may well come in for Anticipated. We'll make it work. Okay, replacing that prompt, we are going with, this stack is small after losing all of those. This one. And on to throw number 3. Let's see. Yellow. Yellow is adult. Sorry if the clip of throwing that dart was not in or was very wonky. The camera is not behaving whatsoever. I need a better setup. But adult is a very nice, easy prompt. 90% of the books I read nowadays are adult. So 2 options here. We have Grow Where They Fall by Michael Doncourt, which is about a man growing up from childhood as a queer black man in southwest London and his experiences, which will be really interesting. Or Bellies by Nicola Dinnan, which I already mentioned, which I think is about a couple where one of the parties comes out as trans and exploring that and how that feels as a pair and where it goes from there. So 2 very exciting, very queer options. And replacing that prompt, we're going to go with, let's get something from the middle, this one. Okay, throw number 4, we're going with dark orange. It's right on the line. I actually can't tell, we're throwing it again. Okay, throw number 4, we're gonna go with A bullseye. What do we do for a bullseye? When I started this game many years ago, I had very defined rules of what bullseyes meant, and then I sort of abandoned them. And I don't really know what to do with it. I think generally it just means a mood read. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna complain about that, so we're gonna roll with it. Throw 4 is whatever I want. Some good options for this could be some queer manga I've been meaning to get to, which I have upside down. I've got quite a lot of queer manga, and I do read quite a lot of it, but I've been very focused on my series such as Spy Family recently, so I haven't got to these in a while. So I have... not anymore, I don't. I have Last Gender Volume 1, 2 and 3. I've read Volume 1 before, but would want to reread it. And these are like an anthology series, so there's like 4 kind of interconnected stories in this one, just following different people's queerness in different ways. It was really interesting, I really enjoyed it, and I need to continue with the series, I'm just being slow with it. I have Boys Run the Riot, which I think is following a trans man, trans boy, and to do with fashion, I believe. This is a series, but I haven't even read the first volume yet, so I want to give it a go. And then I have Is Love the Answer, which is a story about someone realising they're asexual, and we don't have enough ace rap, so that could also be a very good option. Might try and pick up some queer manga for that one, we'll see. Okay, replacing... I don't actually need to replace a prompt. That is muscle memory. Let's do throw 5. Okay, throw number 5. We're not even going to try and aim, are we? Brilliant, let's try it again. I will say, compared to last time, the darts are sticking much better, which is entirely thanks to the person who recommended sticking it to the wall a bit better. It's helping, thank you very much. It's not helping fully, but it helps. For number 5, we're going to pretend the problem was the magnet in that dart and just try a different one. It ended up on dark blue, we're going to roll with it because otherwise it's a repeat colour. Dark blue is contemporary. So contemporary is like a very easy prompt. 90% of the books I've mentioned so far in this video would count for contemporary. A lot of the books I read are contemporary, though I just went and had a scan of my bookshelves and I picked up a few which I wasn't sure, and they were actually, I guess, classed as historical because they're in like the 80s, 90s. So it's a bit of an interesting one, but 2 options just for some difference are Leading Man by Justin Myers. I have an arc of this, though it did actually just come out this past month. This is a queer romance and it sounds super, super fun. It's like dependable sidekick or romantic lead. Who will Leo choose to be? I'm really excited for it because it's someone that has a lot of like loud, dramatic friends, and he kind of lets them have the spotlight, and he has this moment where he has to decide, is he going to let that happen or is he going to claim it for himself? So it sounds super fun. I've loved Justin Myers in the past, so definitely want to read more from him. And then another option is Pages for You by Sylvia Brownrigg. So I have read this book before, and I'll probably make a video about this soon. I have just created like a master spreadsheet for every single book I've read since 2017. I have read 700 exactly, which is very satisfying. And this was the first one I read. This is a book my mum recommended to me. It's sapphic. I remember really enjoying it, but I read it so many years ago now and would love to reread it. So that might end up on the list, and that's definitely a contemporary story. This is about a university student and one of her professors, I believe, who end up in a sort of relationship, and I think the professor might be married to a man. Unsure. Interesting age gap, slight power dynamic romance that I remember really enjoying and finding really, really interesting. Replacing the prompt for, hopefully, the final time, we are going to go with this one. Okay, throw number 6. Let's see. I don't think aiming really matters at this point. Okay, we have had pink before, however, so we might be adding a throw as a bonus. Pink is rainbow. Oh, that's actually so appropriate. So what this means is ideally to pick a book that like helps my TBR stack complete the rainbow, but what I'm actually going to try and do, I am setting myself up for failure, but let me explain. So I have a reading journal, this lovely thing here, which is where I track all of my reading every month, and I always make a TBR spread, and we've really committed to the theme, and this is June's TBR spread. Has some boxes ready to put some prompts in, ready to fill in with books. I'll show you what the last one looked like when I did Dat Attack. So here's what it looked like by the end of the month. You can see the prompts are written in, and then I put in which book I read. So what I could do for this rainbow prompt is make an effort to make this very aesthetic as the month goes on, instead of picking a specific book, because that used to work when I picked a specific book for each prompt, because I could see what I already had, whereas I've got a stack of possibilities. but it could be fun to see if I can make this look really good by the end of the month. I mean, we have pink. This is the closest to red we have. Multiple options for orange, yellow. This could maybe work for green, question mark. This could work better. Either of these for blue, and then maybe this for purple. This could be fun. I'll update you on how it goes by the end of the month and if this ends up looking aesthetic or like a complete mess. That didn't actually choose me a 6th reading prompt though, because I kind of took it on as a challenge for the whole month. So I guess let's pick a prompt to replace that, which is gonna be this one. And then I'm gonna do a final throw, which is 7th throw, 6th reading prompt, somewhere in there. Let's see what we get. So fun. Oh my God, these were sticking before. Why have they stopped sticking? What is going on? One of these better stick soon. What is happening? They were sticking. I don't understand. Light orange, I swear to God. Light orange is, ooh, Bookstagram. Okay, so the concept for this is I go onto my Bookstagram and basically scroll until I come across a book that I own that I can read. Oh! I'm not even screen recording yet. I was about to start screen recording, but look what just came up. That is A Dark and Drowning Tide. Wait, no, I need this for my June release though. Okay, we're gonna do a little scroll. I normally let myself collect a couple of options and then see which one I want to go with, because we're not torturing ourselves, so I'm not doing like the first one. Let's do a little bit of a scroll. Okay, so that's Greta's post about the event I was at. Don't own that, don't own that. I also get some weird stuff on Instagram. Okay, this post here has Just for the Summer, which I've read, Funny Story, which I don't own yet and isn't queer, so not those. Safe Keep, I don't own. Reels make this so much harder. Sarah J Maas, definitely not. Butcher and Blackbird, I don't own. I don't own that. I don't own those. Well, I've read that. This is difficult. Okay, we're gonna cut until I find something useful. This is so hard because you so rarely just get like a photo of a stack of books anymore. I don't own To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. Okay, we have a bookcase. This we might get, absolutely not. I might be seeing A Day of Fallen Night, but I'm not seeing A Day of Fallen Night. It's not happening. Oh, it's really hard to tell what most of these books are. Gideon, I've already read. Do want to reread, it is queer. Question mark, Gideon the Ninth? Question mark, the 5th season? Maybe? Okay, I scrolled for 5 minutes and didn't find what I'm looking for. The options that came up were Gideon the Ninth or the 5th season. This would be a reread, and I do want to start this series as well, but they're both pretty chunky fantasy books, so it just depends whether I'm feeling up to it this month or not, as I might be very, very busy, and neither of these are quick reads in the slightest. So it'll be a little bit dependent on how I'm feeling, whether I get to one of the camera overheated, so we're back here. So whether I read Gideon or the 5th season is a little bit TBC, but what I might do is during the month, if I'm not feeling those, when I need to pick up a next book, I will do a little scroll through Instagram at the time and see what I come across. Or just on my daily scrolls, I will make note if I come across anything that particularly floats my boat or I own, because it's difficult when I'm trying not to buy more books. Anyway, with that, that is the end of the TBR. So a quick reminder of the prompts I'm going to be trying to get this month. We're going to try and read an anticipated read, something that is releasing in the month of June, an adult book, a mood read, a contemporary book, and a book that I've seen on Bookstagram. And then throughout all of that, I have to try and make the books I read make a lovely little rainbow, but we'll see how that bit goes. That is it. I'm really excited for this month of reading, to be honest. I really, really can't wait for it. I have been reading some really good books recently and I'm ready to keep it going, albeit being very busy, so who knows how much we'll read, but quantity is not the goal. I just want to enjoy what I'm reading. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, comment what is your most anticipated queer book that you're planning to read in June, or just in general, or just leave some little rainbows if you're not in the mood to do any thinking about commenting. Check out my other videos. I'll leave some up on the screen at the end that might be of interest to you, but that is it for this video. So bye, and I'll see you in the next one.